Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today's video is called Your Vibration is Always Coming Back to You. So in order, first we need to look a little bit more clearly at what vibration is. You know, the spiritual awakening journey happens in pieces. And as we let go of that ego idea or of the separate consciousness and move into that unity consciousness, it takes a little bit of time to switch back and forth between that. So we need to look more at what vibration is. I've learned from my experience that I am more of an energetic body than a physical body. So energy, we are energy. Before we called it spirit, and now we know that energy and spirit is the same thing. It's this consistent moving, flowing, ethereal substance that we are, so to speak. And the more we can look past, that's why it's important. We kind of have to see more than what the eyes see. The idea of this journey is to be able to look back and see more our vibration than our physical form and substance. So because of that, when Jesus said God is love, love is high vibration, he was saying that God is vibration, that we are vibration, that we are spirit more than body. So vibration and what we are is more of a feeling than an actual form. So the idea of understanding, okay, I am a feeling. I'm not having feelings. The body is not having a feeling. I mean, this is what we've been taught for a long time, is that, you know, the mind is telling me how to feel, or the world's telling me how to feel. But in reality, it's not true. Reality itself, the true reality, is more of a feeling than form. So you have to kind of look at that. That means that we have been choosing over a long period of time, believing that the world is telling us how to feel. We've been choosing to be other than we actually are. Because when we say, I'm afraid and I'm sad and I'm upset and frustrated, then it's not an emotion necessarily. It's literally us becoming that which we're not, because we are love. We are happiness. It's not something we do or become. It's something that we actually are. We are more of a feeling. That spirit that's flowing at a high vibration, which of course would be more attuned to what happiness and love is. Does that make sense a little bit? So as I awaken, I recognize more of the spiritual world, more of that energetic world, more of that vibrational world, it makes me realize that as if I choose a negative emotion, now I can have every reason in the world to feel negative, but I'm becoming something other than I was created to be, so to speak. So our feeling, because of that, our feeling, how you feel becomes the most important thing in the world. Your vibration, how you feel. And then of course thoughts come from that and they create more specifically into our manifestation. But I've learned, pay attention to how you feel more, because your thoughts will elicit a feeling too. And if you just pay attention to how you feel, your vibration, that's the journey itself. So the form then becomes what the vibration is sending out. So vibration is going out in the form of feeling, in the form of thoughts, and then it's coming back in the form, or it's coming back in form in our physical reality. Vibration, which is feeling and thoughts, and then manifestation. Vibration, manifestation. Does that make sense? So that idea helps us understand that, well, very importantly, the form and what's coming back manifested in our life is an indicator to tell us where we are vibrationally. Well, that's pretty cool. Whereas before, we've been allowing our form or allowing our life and our experience to tell us how to feel. Now we're looking at the experience, we're looking at the situations, we're looking at the form and the physical reality and manifested form, and therefore realizing where our vibration must be. Can you see the difference here? We're getting from it. That's what I mean by loop. It's looping back. We're looking at our manifestation and realizing where our vibration is, because it's very difficult to know where our vibration is all the time. So at first, we need to be able to look out at the world and see what's coming back to determine where our vibration is. Able to receive that a little bit? It's like a backwards thinking. So now, if you're able to receive that, that's a good thing, because now the world and how it manifests is an indicator. It becomes an indicator to you of where you are vibrationally. That means that if you're having a good time and good things are flowing, then your vibration must be at a higher level. If things are flowing in and you're having really weird experiences or congestion coming in your life, then you must be at a lower vibrational level. Now, there's a great way of using the outside in order to determine the inside. Do you see? Using the outside to determine the inside. Abraham Hicks always says there's two ways to know where you are vibrationally. One, how you feel, and two, what's coming back to you. And Yeshua in the Course in Miracles talks about your messengers. Your messengers tell you where you are in alignment with the will of God, which just means your vibration of happiness or joy. The alignment is your true self, and your true self is more of a feeling of love or joy or happiness than it will be this body. Because if you change yourself to a place of happiness, your body will shift. Do you see? If I change my place to a happiness and joy and love and excitement, the world shifts. It becomes a little bit different, and it seems to move and flow in a different way. Through law of attraction, things start to flow in differently. So because of that, can you see how the center of us is determining what comes in? And the center of us is always how we feel. And if it's how we feel, then that must be more of what we are. We are a feeling. We are a spiritual love and joy and happiness. Do you see? And because of that, now that needs to be the most important thing that we see. I choose to be happy. I choose to be loving. I choose to be kind. I choose to be on this high level on purpose, regardless of what's coming in. When things come in to show me from my manifested world that my vibration must be on the lower level, instead of blaming the world out there and saying, why is this happening to me? And then projecting out in the form of sin, why I hate this, I don't like this, in order to create more negative emotion, which is who I'm not. Instead, I change my vibration. And now, instead of blaming the world, we change our vibration from within. Make sense? Now, there's one more way to do this, which I have learned in my life. It's a little difficult, but it's worth speaking about, is the idea of looking out in the world and seeing differences, to piggyback on the last video, or seeing something that is coming back at us. We already know it's a mirror reflection of us. We've talked about that. Now, the key is to put into the world on purpose. So I've learned in my life to see the world the way you want it to come back. If you give to the world the way you want it to come back, you'll realize it is more of a mirror. So walk around the world and give to it joy and love. Do you see? Give to it a frequency that you want. So now I've learned, let's say if I run into somebody who is upset or frustrated, clearly they have a problem, and clearly they're using whatever that problem is to stop their energy from flowing. We know that in the moment. But now if I see them as having a problem, if I see them as stopping their energy, I've already stopped my energy in order to do it. So this could be very tricky. That ego mind is very sneaky. If you just see it, you have become it. So that's important. Keep that with you. If you see it, you are it, period. If I see threat, then I'm threatened. If I see fear, then I've already become fear. Otherwise, I couldn't see it. So I've learned in my life, this becomes very tricky. That means you've got to not see it somehow. So instead of seeing them with a problem, I see only solution. Everything's flowing. Everything's coming to you. You're doing such a wonderful job. Things are really flowing for you. And I don't get caught up in the problems anymore, only showing the solution. And as I shine that solution in that light, things are flowing. You're really doing a great job. Look at how well you're doing here. Then now it pulls them into that place, and now they can receive the clarity because their vibration goes up. So let me explain this again. What a different way of thinking about it. Instead of trying to help them, well, if you do this, and because you've done this, you've gotten here, and now you need to do this. In order to do that, I have to have the same split they have. In order to see the problem, I have to have the problem. That's important to understand. Now, instead of trying to help them by telling them what to do, now it's a matter of showing them where they're going well, how great they're doing, how wonderful they're doing. Anything to bring their vibration up by shining the light on them. As I shine the light on them, their vibration will rise, and then now that Holy Spirit, that higher self, inner being part of them will be able to reach them much easier to help them through whatever problem that they're having. This becomes a different way of thinking because now I don't need to necessarily be there to help them. All I need to do for any of us is to raise our light, see them in the light no matter where they are. And then they can hook on to that light and then receive the clarity that they need to receive. This has been huge in my life because boy, have I gone down that spiral of trying to say, well, your problem is this and your solution is this, not knowing that I'm looking at both and becoming both and splitting my own mind. It's so hard to understand that the world is neutral. But I'm going to say it again and again, and especially to reinforce it back to myself. What you see out there, you have created. What you see out there, you have created. It is neutral. The whole idea of all of us is to put into the world in order to receive back. So whatever I see, I have made. And if I see something I don't like, I've made it. It's done. It's in there because I see it. Even if the other soul agrees with it, I'm still seeing it, and I cannot be any kind of help to anybody from that perspective. I've gotten in the hole with them, and instead of bringing down the rope to them in order to get out. Do you see? So that's really sneaky. It's tricky part of the ego. I want you to really sit with that. I'm continuing to sit with that because, like I said, this is pieces, and I'm still finding myself sometimes getting stuck in this place. Anytime I see a problem, anytime I see something that needs to be corrected, I've already feel and become the correction and the problem myself. I need to see only the solution, only the light, only the joy, only the love, only the flow in that other person. No more problems to the best of my ability. And at least if I do, so what I've done is now if I'm in this situation, I stop and say, am I seeing this from the eyes of my inner being, or am I seeing it from the eyes of the ego? What am I seeing in this person? Am I seeing light, or am I seeing shadow? If I see shadow, you can believe I'm looking at it from my own shadow perspective. I need to stop at that point and notice that I can't be there for them. I can't help them in any way if I can't see the solution and if I can't see their light. That has got to be the most important thing. And then same thing with things, see it as beautiful, see it as good. The hardest thing for all of us, and especially from my perspective, I've learned the greatest fear is the fear of being alone. It's like a fear of non-existence, so to speak. This is what causes anxiety, depression, and so forth and so on. This idea of being alone, of not accepting the will of who we are, or not seeing the world in the form of happiness, but believing the world is shining back to us something that's not coming from us. This creates a really big feeling of unnatural of who we are. Until we can be happy, which is who we are, until we can be loving, which is what we are, somehow get that vibration up, like we talked about, vibration, everything's flowing, I'm feeling better, paying attention to how we feel more than anything. And yes, use the world out there to let you know your indicator, to let you know where you are vibrationally, but at the same time, learn to put into it on purpose and ignore anything and just put in until that world turns on and starts flowing for you in many, many, many different aspects. But where we get really lost is what we see in other people. So take a second, find out what works for you and see, is it possible for you not to see the correction in someone else? Is it possible for you to only see the solution, to only see who they really are, to only see the light instead of the darkness, and then help them see it? Not by giving them any answers, but by reminding them who they are. What a different way to shine light upon this world. Take that with you. Sit with it. And as always, it's up to you what you receive. Thank you so much for following along. Hit the like button if this video is speaking to you. And make sure to continue to subscribe. And as always, keep those comments coming. Much love, much unconditional love and appreciation to each one of you on this wonderful, wonderful journey of self-exploration.